The Griffith Foundation presents the social justice. We will be silent no more. Poetry Slam. Calling all youth organizations, churches, community groups, parents, and other individuals. Come out and enjoy poetry.
I am a black man.
Rhythm.
Stand up. 1-800-THE-LOST.
Passion.
You are so beautiful, my young black queen.
Writing.
I love my country, but I love it in black even more.
And spoken word.
Your black be like pretty dresses and smoky eyes. My black be like rage.
Come out and support the social justice. We will be silent no more. Poetry Slam. Everyone is encouraged to attend. Friday, April 26, 6:30 p.m. at the Grand Opera House. Calling all youth organizations. Don't miss it.
Well, welcome to A Call to Action. I'm your host, Alex Habersham, and as always, we bring you interesting and impactful and phenomenal information that's designed to inform, educate, and uplift the community. And additionally, we always have some interesting, informative, and uplifting guests on the show and talk about interesting, informative, and uplifting initiatives. And today will not be any different. Matter of fact, I'm particularly interested and happy to bring this show to you today, primarily because of my having been in business, well, I hate to tell you, about 50 years, since I was 3. So it's a lot of fun having done that and doing this. And our guest today is none other than Mr. Jeff Wilhelm, who not only is a financial planner, but he's also one who's interested in the community, interested in the development and the improvement and the impact of the community. So we're so happy to have him. So we're going to come out of the chute asking Jeff to just tell us a little bit about yourself, Jeff.
Thanks, Alex. I just wanted to start by saying thank you for having me on A Call to Action, and I'm happy to share a little bit about myself and about Macon Startup Week today. So I'm a financial advisor with the Northwestern Mutual Wealth Management Company. I have a BS in marketing from Clemson, and I've been in Macon since May of 2020, and really have gotten to get involved in the community through my work with Northwestern Mutual. We do a lot of work with business owners in the community. I've been involved with the Chamber of Commerce as an ambassador. I'm currently in the 2024 class of Leadership Macon. I'm also a member of the Downtown Rotary Club. And so all of those avenues have really kind of opened my eyes to the community in Macon, and kind of led to my desire to help grow and kind of start new businesses in Middle Georgia.
You go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, my personal mission statement as a financial advisor is to really make a positive impact on everyone I meet, and to, even if they don't become clients, to kind of help them become more aware of their finances, and, kind of to build the community and kind of, to increase financial literacy in Middle Georgia.
Yeah, I'm so glad you said that, because I had a conversation last week with Scott Siegel of Truist Bank, and financial literacy is the new buzz expression for the community, because a whole lot of people are beginning to realize the role that having knowledge and information about wealth and finances and income and businesses and jobs and banking accounts and savings and investment, all of those things tie importantly, if you please, into the quality of life. I'll say that again, being financially literate impact how you live, how well you live, and what kind of accomplishments you make, and how you feel about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So I just applaud anybody and anything and everybody and everything uh, that deal with financial literacy. And then I'm so happy that there are efforts to prick the conscientiousness, if you please, of the community as it relates to financial literacy, and not only Northwestern Mutual, but other financial institutions and nonprofits are engaged in trying to inform the community of the importance of financial literacy. I just talked to a young lady about 30 minutes ago and mentioned a checking account, and she doesn't have a checking account, and I know technology and digital operations are important, but there are certain things that relates to the handling and of finances that are important. And it's important to impart that information to the community. By the same token, it is also important for us to understand, appreciate entrepreneurialism.
Mm-hmm.
Some people like to call it entrepreneurship, whatever you want to call it. I call it business, business. And so we got an initiative of which you are a part. And I want to thank you for your involvement. And I think that it's worth mentioning that uh, it's important for those of us who have been here for 50 years, 40 years, 20 years, 10 years, and for those of us who have been here less than 5 years. I want to applaud you for being involved in the community. I think that's important. And even if you are a professional, if you are in business, it's still important. I think that's an intricate part
Mm-hmm.
of being successful in a community is by being involved in the community. Be in the community, but also be for the community.
Mm-hmm.
And that can have a measurable impact on how the community grows. And one of the things that really, really influence where our community is and where it's going and how it can progress is business. And so I think
Mm-hmm.
Startup Week is an initiative that's connected, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, to the building and the generation and the development of businesses in the community. So talk a little bit about that, if you would, Jeff.
I'll be happy to. Yeah, and you're exactly right. And so Startup Week is really a celebration of entrepreneurship, entrepreneurialism, and it's a week long event. It coincides with Georgia's Small Business Week. It's the first full week of May. So this year it is May 6th through May 11th, and we have events every day that week. And then on Saturday, it's a full small business summit to really help someone take an idea and start an actual functional business. I'm going to dive in a little deeper that in a second, but I just want to kind of start by saying I got involved with Startup Week last year through Andrew Eck, who was last year's chair. He's a I've known Andrew for almost 10 years now. His brother and I were good friends when I lived in Savannah. Andrew and Kevin are both Mercer grads, and really, kind of they've been involved in the Macon community longer than I've been here. But part of my call and into being not only an advisor at Northwestern Mutual, but into serving the community is my call and need for service. I want to make sure that I kind of put others before self and find ways that I can help build up our community. And Andrew and I had lunch last year, and he told me about Startup Week. I got involved last year as just kind of hands-on volunteer during different events last year. And then after the event was over, I was like, man, that was great. I have some ideas and how we can make it even better next year. And I became the co-chair along with Jen David. She has been handling the creative side, and I've been kind of helping with the more the business side of events. But both of us have a passion for the community, a passion for building up others. And I've kind of brought that to bear on Startup Week. And so Startup Week focuses on like kind of four key tracks to entrepreneurism, and that's start, grow, fund, and connect. And so everything from have an idea, like I mentioned earlier, and kind of, all right, I have an idea. How do I make this an actual real business? We're going to have workshops that take you through writing a business plan, how to do marketing, how to look at your numbers, how to talk about your business and your proposition, your values, how to get investors and funding. We have deep dives into everything from the marketing plan to AI. We have a wonderful segment Brandon Hancock is leading about using AI in your business. And so the format this year is we have a kickoff event on Monday night, May 6th. And then during the week, from Tuesday to Friday, we're going to have 3 events a day. A morning, a lunch and learn, and then an evening session. And so during the week, they're going to be more kind of strategic, more kind of about like nuts and bolts on a certain business aspect. And then Saturday is going to be from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. or start to 3 p.m. And that's going to be more technical, more the overall view. And so that's our small business summit. We're also going to be providing value adds like free headshots during the summit. So you can get a professional headshot. You can get help with branding. There's going to be essentially a pitch workshop during the week, so you can kind of learn how to talk about your idea, talk about your business. And then we're partnering with SCORE also for a women's pitch contest on Friday night. And Macon Bib is also donating, I think, $2,500. Don't hold me to that number. We're still finalizing the details on the pitch contest, but it's going to be on Friday night. It's going to be SCORE presenting the women's pitch contest. So that's a kind of general overview of what the week looks like. What questions you have in detail about Startup Week, Alex?
Yeah, I've got a couple.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got the expression startup in the name of the week. But I
We
mean,
do.
and you mentioned that, and I always tell young people and not so young people or anybody who's interested in maybe being an entrepreneur that everything starts with an idea. But in order to bring that idea to fruition, in order for that idea to become successful, then there's some knowledge, some training, some education, some interaction, and some networking that go along with, trying to bring one's idea to fruition. So, I mean, how do you um, accept, identify businesses and individuals who, I mean, everybody can benefit. And what I'm trying to get at is that even though it's called Startup Week, what you just mentioned, there are probably several components that could be beneficial to existing businesses. So, how does that roll out as it relates to, say, somebody who's already in business or somebody who used to be in business or somebody who just started a business. And also, I know that someone who has an idea, this would be perfect for them. But how about people who are a little further along rather than just an idea?
That's a great question, Alex. And we are, to be clear, we are focused at both, new business owners or ones that just have the idea stage, and existing business owners. So part of Startup Week is also how do you grow your existing business? So you've started the business, you have your LLC or your partnership, you're providing a service or selling a product. How do you take it to the next level? And
Right.
so part of the grow tract is how do you level up? How do you scale your business? what questions you might have when you start, hiring full-time employees. How do you provide benefits for them? How do you attract and retain talent? As we all know, as business owners, talent is hard to get right now. People are always looking for jobs, and so like not only do you have to find those people, but once you get them, you have to keep them because the cost of acquiring and training a new employee are generally a lot higher than keeping your existing employee. And so making sure you're competitive in the workplace, you offer the right benefits, you're structured in that way. We have a segment that I think is usually a favorite during the week. It's called No Dumb Questions. And and so that we have a CFP, a CPA, a business attorney, and a banker. David Danzy is the banker. I'm sure you know David. And so Synovus is also one of our partners and sponsors for Startup Week. And so a lot of that is most heavily attended by existing business owners who have a question in one of those categories. Hey, how do I do this? Or how do I level up? How do I secure more funding to expand my business? And so we want to make sure we welcome those existing business owners.
That's a,
Sorry, also I was going to say real quick on um, makingstartupweek.com is how you'll register for the week. On that registration form, it's going to ask you, are you an existing business owner? How long have you been in business? What's the size of your business? Because during the week, we can tailor some of those events to you and your business. For example, on the summit, we're going to have, kind of lunch, with a business owner. So we're going to have community leaders and business owners who are there to sit down, break bread, answer questions informally, provide mentorship and kind of guidance. And then after Startup Week is over, everyone will be registered with both Startup Macon and have the option to register with Spark Macon to get ongoing kind of coaching and ongoing, get plugged in into the ecosystem of Macon in the community.
that is so phenomenal and it's so important, and I didn't want anybody to be confused with the expression startup. Although it says startup, but you also use grow up and level up and rise up and money up and network up and all of those things which are associated with being successful in business, or trying to start a business. So, let me ask you this: how who sponsors this? Who can we thank for having the vision and the insight and the wherewithal to understand the role that businesses play in our community, and also understand, how many of us in business, and I said us, can do better and be better and make more money and grow, and become more influential and more independent and more impactful and broaden our footprint, but sometimes it takes instructions, sometimes it takes networking, sometimes it takes training, sometimes it takes education, and it just takes a lot of things. And I think, one thing that I've learned, Jeff, over the years is that sometimes uh, business people don't understand how broad that responsibility is
Mm-hmm.
as it relates to being their business. Just because you got a specific skill or knowledge in a specific area doesn't necessarily mean that you're ready to go into business. So what one has to do is to expose him or herself, get engaged and involved in activities such as this if you're trying to start a business or if you are in business, because there's so much information out there that one needs to know that can contribute measurably to his or her success. So I mean, who kind of who had the good fortune of putting this thing together?
So, kind of at the roots, the start making startup week came about as part of the Forward Macon initiative, along with the Chamber of Commerce. Um, and I was having lunch with Jim Manley at Synovus, and talking about Startup Week, and he's like, Jeff, I was on the original like Forward Macon, board when we created this and had this idea of Startup Week. And he's like, I haven't been involved in the last couple of years, but having someone reach out and come talking about Startup Week and kind of have it take on a life of its own is like a kind of dream fulfilled. So the Knight Foundation provides him the funding initially. The Chamber's been a partner since the beginning. The ATDC has helped, and then we have a host of other sponsors and local businesses. Georgia Otterson, Evan Zebley, Easy Signs, the Dan Rhodes 21st Century Partnership. They've all been integral, board members. Obviously, Andrew, he's the executive director of Startup Macon, and he also is the CEO and founder of Georgia Otterson. They have been a huge partner. Rob Betzel has been kind of there from the beginning as well. Grit Consulting, and so there are many more that I don't have time to name, but we will be on our website making Startup Week, and during the week you'll see kind of all our sponsors. I also make sure I don't forget to shout out M&R Marketing. Matthew Michael used to serve on the board, and M&R is going to be hosting our marketing workshop on that Thursday evening at their headquarters downtown. And they're also presenting the downtown business crawl on Wednesday evening. And so the goal of the business crawl is to highlight a lot of those organizations, local businesses. We'll also be doing an event on Tuesday evening and at the Chamber, another networking event, as you mentioned, just kind of knowing people and being exposed to the community makes those connections that really can kind of take that business to the next level, or to find that connection that can be a strategic partnership and kind of an area that you need.
Now, when you said register to be a part of it, and I guess so has the menu been finished, or are you still trying to solicit information as it relates to what kind of seminars and programs? Or do you just pretty much know already what the items and the areas are that people will need help in?
Yeah, our agenda is, I would say, 95% complete right now. We should be polishing up this week, and the website will be live shortly for registration. And so it's really more just we're kind of assigning the final sponsors, find out which segments they want to sponsor. But the content and programming is in place. We have the kind of the teachers for each workshop we have lined up, and so it's all here, ready to go live for the community.
Now, will there be any availability? And I'm just asking because I'm curious.
Mm-hmm.
Are you selling vendor space for this? I mean, uh, if there are some other entities who may be desirous of getting involved, maybe one way or the other, is that a possibility, or do you not do that for this particular event?
Are we selling ads or what? Sorry, what was the question, Alex?
Vendor space.
Vendor space. We're not selling vendor space, but our sponsors. So if you are sponsoring an event, then that sponsor will be present on the startup summit day to provide information. We'll also be providing a kind of a swag bag, a goodie bag with brochures, information to kind of take home. And then they're also invited to the events to network with the business owners and individuals.
Okay, so give us that date again and then that website. And when do you expect that website to be live?
It should be live by Friday this week.
Okay.
And so the website is MaconStartupWeek.com. The dates are May 6th through May 11th, 2024. And the kickoff will be on Monday evening. And then we'll have programming running from Tuesday to Friday. And then that summit is Saturday. The events during the week will all be free to attend. We do ask that you register online. The summit will be a ticketed event, and it'll include like the headshots. It'll include some of the workshops, and we're gonna have a keynote speaker as well as lunch and coffee in the morning.
That is so outstanding. I want to congratulate and thank you, along with all of the other individuals who are involved in thinking that this is a good idea and a good initiative because it is. And I am envisioning the kind of impact, if you please, that this will have on the community as it relates to growing the community from an economic perspective, because the economy and economics influence every element of our life on a daily basis. So if you're in business, if you've got an idea of wanting to go into business, if you want to support businesses, if you want to broaden your horizon and your understanding, then it behooves you to participate in Startup Week. And it's called Startup Week, but it also means grow up, level up, rise up, and income up, if you please, because business is so important to our community. This is a call to action. I'm your host, Alex Habersham, having interviewed Mr. Jeff Wilhelm of Northwestern Mutual. That's his day job, but also one who has been very, very involved in Startup Week on a volunteer basis. And I want to thank you for thinking it would not be robbery for you to do all you can and impart your knowledge and your time and your expertise in an endeavor that will uplift our community. My favorite expression is a rising tide raises the whole ship. And if in fact we involved ourselves in Startup Week, from whatever angle, then I think it will benefit the entire community. This is a call to action. Thank you, Jeff. I'm your host, Alex Habersham. Have a great day.
www.makingblackpages.com